talks they're hitting the brakes on docking the Falmouth port. Talks are that 3 major ships are temporarily bypassing the port for a number of reasons. And here to talk us number of reasons, and here to talk us through that and how this might affect the tourist sector, the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Edmund Marlett. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Welcome.
Correct my confusion. I read that one won't come, and then I read that couple won't come back. What is it exactly?
Well, what it is, it's a realignment of the itineraries for the Western Caribbean. And perhaps I should just give a quick background to how these things are done. Itineraries are developed on the basis of the port yields as the cruise lines see it for the various ports. And that flows from the quality of the visitor experience at the port, as well as the port itself and the capacity of the port and so on. But the more important thing for us is the experience, visitor experience at the port, because that's what defines to a large extent the allurement of the port, the excitement of the port, the demand of the port for the guests, because the guest rules. Right. Guest is the boss. So if the guests are happy when they come off the port and they have good experiences, great attractions, wonderful things to do and see when they come, and it's a hassle-free experience, then your port is top of the line.
So what are the reasons behind not coming?
So that's one. The second, which is the alignment of ports within a geographic zone. For example, if you had in the Western itinerary, as we call it, Western Caribbean, there were 3 ports of call that were utilized. One in Haiti, called Labradee. The second was in Cozumel, in Mexico. And the third would be Falmouth. There are difficulties in Labradee. That port has literally disintegrated. So there's not only a reduction in demand, but people are literally saying, we're not going. Then Falmouth has some experience issues in that we have not built out in full the promise of the experience that Falmouth would provide as a Georgian town. And there are some issues, of course, with harassment, and we have to deal with those. So really what you're left with is one, in their mind, good port, good stop, good port of call on the itinerary. So that's a problem. The other element of the problem is that 2 new ports of calls emerge in the same Western Caribbean itinerary arrangements. One which in fact was a huge attraction in the past, but fell on bad times, and also would not be able to accommodate the Oasis class ships, such as the Allure and the Harmony of the Seas and so on, like what we have in Falmouth. So now those 2 ports, Roatan in Honduras and Cozumel in Mexico, are back with a bang and in great demand. And what those 2 ports did now was to create a 4-stop itinerary, which was far more attractive, in fact, than our 3-stop with 2 ports that were.
So it's just a different route.
So there is a. So what has happened now is 2 of the ships have been repositioned for this second itinerary, as you would call it. And what that means is that we're going to be down next year to 554,000 passengers in Falmouth instead of the 600 and odd thousand which we have this year.
I want to jump in, sir. You mentioned harassment. I haven't heard that word for a long time. What's going on with that?
Well, you know, harassment is an issue that is of great concern to us. And
is it just at Falmouth, by the way?
No, it's not just Falmouth. It's a number of other ports all around.
Right.
But we have to be concerned about where it affects us. And my job is to work as hard as I can with the partners to eliminate it, because what I want to do is to eliminate all the negatives that may militate against my port of call being number one, right? So we're working on that, and we've set up a team headed by John Biles from, the Cruise Council, and they're working with the Port Authority. We and the Port Authority work very closely on these things, and the UDC as well.
Is it what? Just the sellers just jumping at the tourists?
It's a bit of zealousness. It's a bit of anxiety to get my product across. So one of the things that we're doing is to build out an infrastructure that will facilitate seamlessness and enable the vendors to have a discrete area, properly appointed, and an opportunity for it to be well merchandised as well, where they would go. But not only that they would go and merchandise their stuff, but that location would be known.
Right.
We would market it.
It would be a part of the tour,
part of
per
the
se.
tour when the passengers are on the ship. Onboard advertising will be going on, which tells them where to go and
so on. You said earlier.
So in addition, I'm sorry to that. Yesterday I launched with the Edna Manley School, the Craft Development Institute, which is designed to start training our artisan and craftspeople about how to broaden their own creative horizon and to make more indigenous Jamaican products that are peculiar to us, unique, and also help to authenticate the visitor's presence here. So that will assist greatly in creating one-of-a-kinds rather than the multiple of everything.
Mass-produced.
That is mass-produced.
You were saying earlier that we haven't necessarily marketed ourselves and the Falmouth port well enough to be one of the best ports of call. Why not? And what is it that we haven't done that should be done to make us
all right. Well,
one of
let's
those
see.
ports?
The promise of building out this great Georgian experience of Falmouth is not yet completed. So we're spending time on it. It's a very expensive proposition, as you know, right? In fact, there's $1 billion that we have earmarked for the continuation of that development. Prime Minister himself has taken personal responsibility, he says, for that build-out process to enable it to happen. By 2019, we should be well away. So I'm satisfied in my head, based on how we have aligned all the arrangements, that by 2019, no RCL or anybody can say to me, Falmouth is not a desirable port, because we're doing what is necessary to be done to make it happen.
Yeah. A report came out July 9, and it says the three ships, the Allure of the Seas, Celebrity, and another, which are all subsidiaries of Royal Caribbean, have shunned the port due to concerns over tourist harassment and other issues. Yeah. You spoke about the harassment. What are the other issues? Well,
the other issues I mentioned in terms of the experience in overall, the look and feel.
Okay.
Yes, and we're working on that. And the other issues I also indicated in terms of the alignment, which they have done on the basis of their analysis of port yields, bearing in mind that port yields trumps everything else.
Right.
Because it's a business decision.
Right.
You know, they're not coming to Falmouth because they love us. Mm-hmm. They come in because they're going to make money. And it's not, unfortunately, one port of call doesn't make an itinerary.
Right.
So you have to make others. And one of the things I wanted to say is that we have a good relationship with RCL. I mean, I was with the president last Friday, and he facilitated the meeting at very short notice. And he had to fly out to Israel for some program he had. But he stayed just to have the meeting and left us for the airport. So there's good relationship. Yeah. And the building back of the Western itinerary that facilitates Falmouth is also very important. So we had an undertaking from RCL that their port, Labradee in Haiti, will be refurbished and put back in pristine condition, right? So that it is again in demand in the market, right? And we are working with our partners in Cayman to create that new facility for Falmouth too. I'm sorry, for Cayman, so that we can have a four-stop itinerary.
As well.
So we're working together to make it happen. And I wanted to say to Falmouth that we are all in this thing together. We've had issues like this before in Ocherias a couple of years ago when Falmouth came on stream. Ocherias started to die because of, redeployment. But everything has come back. Ocherias is now going to grow and is growing, in fact, and will grow during this period. So will Montego Bay. So the net result is that growth will be in cruise arrivals in Jamaica by 3 to 5% over the next few years. So the destination will not be losing in terms of its growth arrangements. It may not grow as much as I had projected because these two are aligned. But in the interim, we're working to get the Monarch to come in, and RCL is facilitating that. And there are a number of other smaller vessels that will be coming into Falmouth. So the mitigation is there. The plan is on the table. And so instead of perhaps losing 90 or so thousand passengers for the year, we may end up with losing 50 or 60, which would be a huge difference than what was anticipated.
Thanks for coming, sir. Good to see you.
Bless you.
Yeah, the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett.
We're going to take a trip down memory lane, Lime Tree Lane to be exact. Mas Gossi joins us after the break. We'll be right back.
Good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.